I think we need to go to the hospital. We'll be right back, everybody. It is free.
There we go, everybody. I knew he was going to bring that up sooner or later.
Free. And when you hear the word free, you know I'm going to act up.
I'm about to act
I'm
up.
about to act up. This seems like a deeper... This seems like a deeper problem, deeper issue. Because we both work technically remotely, it's like our home is work. So if we're home, then we are at work.
Mm-hmm. This week, we took a staycation, and we're going to be sharing what we learned from our week off. Make sure you stick to the end for one of your questions of the week. Let's get into this Half Past crew.
Welcome to
Half Past Ja.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Half Past Ja. My name is Staycation.
My name is Hallie.
And if you can't already tell, we are an interracial couple. And that's what we talk about. We talk about being an interracial couple. We talk about relationships, but we also get questions from you because you guys go to www.halfpastja.com where you submit your own questions and stories. And we love reading them. We have one at the end of this episode, so make sure you stick till the end. We release new podcast episodes every Monday at, guess what, 7 a.m. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like this video. It helps the algorithm a ton. And if you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify, make sure you follow and give the podcast 5 stars.
And share with your friends, your family. If you want people to have a good laugh, have a good time, just share with them, please. Thank you.
Thanks for spending your Monday with us. I just want you guys all to settle in, get cozy, and grab your jaw. All right, let's get into this. A staycation, Hallie.
What is a staycation?
Our staycation's over.
Don't say that.
It's over.
Don't say that.
It makes me sad. We took this whole week off, and we didn't go anywhere. We stayed in the house, not just in the house, but like stayed. We didn't travel anywhere. We just took a break, a mental health break, really.
Kind of, yeah.
It was it didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go.
It did not.
And I knew this was going to happen too. Like,
yeah.
I had already known, like, I remember you telling me like, oh, you're excited to do this and that. And I'm like, me too. I just kind of went with it because I thought it was actually like, okay, I think maybe if she's ambitious about this, then yeah, this can happen. None of the things that we really, really, really wanted to do, like, officially got finished. We might have started things, but like, we didn't like finish anything. And I think it took us a good 4 to 5 days, which is all of it, to actually realize that we were in a staycation mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we took this time off for a few reasons. One, because we wanted a break from our corporate jobs, because it's really hard when we're working all the time and then have other stuff that we work on after hours and you're not traveling. So we wanted a break for that, number one. Number two, we celebrated our anniversaries, the 2 of them this past week, which was really nice. And we did a lot of things for those. And while it was all wonderful, I think we were very ambitious and had a lot of ideas. You know, like we figured that just because we're not working, we just have a few things we need to get done, blah, blah, blah. We had more than a few things to get done. And it's kind of crazy because I didn't realize how fast this week was going to go. And I wish that we wouldn't have made as many plans as we did. Like, we had fun, but I'm thinking about the day of our anniversary. I was just stressed. And why were we stressed? Were you stressed?
I was as well, because I felt like, I think I was like anxious the whole day. Like, I just had anxiety. Like, my hands were sweaty, my feet were sweaty, and this just happens when I get anxious. Like, I feel like I'm not being productive. I feel like I'm not working. I feel like, and this is the whole point of a staycation, is stop your work. You get to relax a little bit, take a full-on break. But I think we have so many things outside of just normal stuff and like normal work, whether it be our business stuff, but also like cleaning the house, I washed the cars, I washed the trash cans. You got to wash your trash cans, you know, like you can't just let it sit there and get dirty over time. Like, you got to wash these things. You got to like clean everything in the house, dust the house, like all these things that we had to do that we were just pushing off because we knew we were taking the staycation. And then it came to the time and I'm like,
a lot of it built up.
And it's just, It's a lot. Like, I don't, like, from my perspective, I'm like, how do people have the time to do everything? How do people have the time to work and then clean the house, mow the grass, do the dishes, cook the food, and then have time to relax on top of that?
Beats
and we
me.
don't even have kids yet.
No.
I'm just like, oh my God, is this what's going to happen for the rest of our lives?
Well, I think, again, a lot of it, to your point, is that we put a lot of things off until this week. So it almost put more pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't think it was a lot of pressure. You know, I had written out what I wanted to get done this week, what you wanted to get done this week. And on paper, it didn't seem like a lot. But when you actually get into your days and start going through the motions of things, you're like, oh, I have to do this. Oh, and I have to do that. And then I have to go pick up this and blah, 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 blah. There are always so many things to get done. And it just really puts into perspective for me that I push so many things aside because I'm busy during the hours of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I realize just how many things I push aside for the weekend. And that's, I think, why our weekends feel so crammed.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but the reason that I felt so like everything being so crammed is because I felt like even during the 9 to 5, 8 to 5 or whatever it was, I felt like I was supposed to be working. Like every morning I'd wake up
in a panic
for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I would go to my work phone, which I don't have to, but I just wanted to check to make sure like everything was good. Whereas I don't have to I'm on PTO. Like I should not be checking.
No, you should not. I don't know why you did. I didn't.
But like I just needed to know, like, cause I don't know why. Like it felt like it was wrong. Like I felt like I was not being productive. It felt I was anxious not doing anything. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't doing it. Like we were doing a ton of stuff. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't work. Like it wasn't our job, right? And because of that, I felt so anxious.
Do you see that as a problem?
It's a huge problem. Mm-hmm. I've always been a workaholic. Like I've always loved just to work. But I didn't realize that it was also like everything. Like I just need to work all the time. Like no matter what the work is, I just need to work. And because I didn't have any like structured work, I felt so anxious.
And I noticed that throughout the whole week.
It's terrible. I don't know why. But I think now, like, it took until Friday, which was yesterday, to fully, like, I am good. Like, I'm on vacation mode. And then I'm like, well, this is technically the last day of vacation.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
It really does. And I'm really sad thinking about. So I guess we can kind of sum all of that up. But I think the first thing we wanted to talk about really is that we realized how anxious we are. And I feel like that's really messed up because, you know, on a vacation, that's the last thing you're supposed to be. Not that you're supposed to be anxious at all.
First of all, being at home.
Yeah, we're home.
That's the thing is work life has turned, because we both work technically remotely. It's like our home is work. So if we're home, then we are at work. Mm-hmm. So it felt like we were at work during our staycation.
And that is what I hate so much about working from home, because I have such a difficult time separating my work life from my personal life. And I don't think that's fair because I walk right downstairs most mornings and I hop on my meetings. I don't want my house to be turned into a miserable place that makes me anxious about something.
Did you sit at your desk at all?
Oh, no, I can't. I really can't.
This seems like a deeper... This seems like a deeper problem, deeper issue.
It's funny you bring that up because this entire week I have not sat at my desk. I can't bring myself to do it. We haven't even played Fortnite this week, and I haven't even wanted to because I don't want to sit at my desk.
This table right here is where I've been doing all my work, and I don't know what it is about being at my desk upstairs. My office is upstairs, Hallie's office is downstairs, and I don't know what it is. I just cannot sit at that desk.
It's traumatizing a little bit.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't even explain to you guys like what I was feeling.
Do you think that's messed up?
It's messed up. And that's why we want everybody to try a staycation, just to see what it's like, understand, like, and the one benefit of a staycation, there's a ton of benefits, but the one thing that I love about it It's
was free.
cost effective.
Yeah.
It is free.
There we go, everybody. I knew he was going to bring that up sooner or later.
It's free. And when you hear the word free, you know I'm going to act up.
You're about to act
I'm
up.
about to act up.
But yeah, I know I do want you guys to think about that because I don't know what your working situation is like. If you work from home, I know a lot of people who are always on their workplace campus and they're working there. Or maybe you're a student. But it is interesting to think about if you actually take a break and allow yourself to take a step back from the work that you're doing, like us, if it's in your home, do you find yourself going to that area to relax? I don't.
No.
I can't.
And there staycations in general, like when it comes to like being at home and you're doing nothing and that's your vacation, just like we used to have like fall break and spring break, and like when you went on those during like your school time and your parents didn't plan any vacation, so you'd just be home and you get to just have that relaxation time, do nothing. Those were fantastic. This week did not feel like that.
No, it didn't. I was
And I'm
arguably
sad.
more stressed this week than I have been. I mean, and I've noticed that too with every trip that I've gone on, or like even any break I've taken from work. I'm arguably more stressed than I am when I'm in my normal routine.
Traveling outside of home is stressful. Like you got to figure out what are you gonna do with your pet. Like our cat Sylvie, like she got to stay with us the whole week.
She did.
She was so happy that we didn't go anywhere. She got a ton of time to play, and so like that's awesome that we don't have to figure that out. Like she was just with us. Whereas if we were traveling outside of the state, we would have to figure out who's gonna feed her, where is she gonna stay, all these things. That's a stressful like thing on its own, right?
Yeah.
So there's that.
I really think we all underestimate how stressful little things are, right? Like you just said, when we go on a trip, we have to figure out who's going to take care of Sylvie. Like people really undermine how stressful things can be. And I'm just thinking about this in my own life, and I really take for granted the days that I'm very happy and not anxious, which is rare that I feel that I have those days. And mostly in my work week, I just push on through and don't even really consider the stress that I'm feeling. And then I think all of that builds up, and then when I actually have a break, that's when I feel the effects of the stress, because I was exhausted this week.
Yeah, me too.
And like we didn't get up super early. I mean, we'd get up at like 6:30, 7:30. Like that's pretty late for most people, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, 7:30 was like our average that we were getting up, and that's fine. Like even that, like
That's
we
late.
we naturally get up at that time no matter what, because we usually have meetings and stuff, and so that's kind of why we got up that at that time. But the whole point of this staycation for us was to work on some personal projects.
Yes.
Like we got to do a lot of planning for this channel and figuring out what we're gonna do with merch that's coming out October 14th. So excited. So we got to figure stuff like that, like personal projects that we were working on. Hallie's working on her YouTube video. I've gotten to email a ton of clients that we have to work with, and it's just been really nice to sit down and get that stuff done, which has been fantastic. But we didn't get to a point where we could work on those things till way later in the week, because the first day or two, it's just like
Well, that
gone
was
in
like our
seconds.
anniversary. So to be fair, I mean, we were
Yeah, but sitting and doing nothing made us more anxious and like irritable than anything.
And the fact that we can't relax, to me, says a lot. I think that's a big issue, that we can't relax. Why can't we relax? Why can we not allow ourselves to calm down to the point of just sitting and doing nothing and accepting that?
Do you think other people go through this, or is it just us?
I don't know. I think maybe. I don't know. We also, I mean, honestly, we're not average in what we do, right? Like we do a lot of projects, a lot of things that a lot of people don't normally do. And I love it. But to me, it just feels so wrong to allow myself to relax. But when I do allow myself to get so cozy, like for example, just sitting on the couch, I realize how exhausted I am. Like right now, I'm so tired because I think I'm just really allowing myself to soak in the benefits of not going anywhere or doing anything and just taking my time and allowing myself to be lazy, which I hate even saying that. I'm just relaxing.
Yeah.
It feels so good, but I'm so tired all the time.
It's like you are so burnt out that you just don't, even like relaxing is tiring.
It is. And like even sleeping, I don't feel like sleeping does anything for me. I was just telling you this a couple days ago. But my mind is so active that sometimes I have a really hard time falling asleep. Other times not so much because I do feel really tired. But and we talk about this every single day, I have the hardest time in the world turning my brain off. I can't turn it off. Like it's impossible for me. I wish I could. I don't know how. And so even when I go to sleep and I'll wake up throughout the night. I always check my health stats on my watch and it tells me how much I'm awake. And we'll be asleep for the same amount of time, quote, and you get way more sleep than I do, and you feel way more refreshed because my mind is so active, and I will wake up and feel way more exhausted than if I were to just take a 2-hour nap at this point. I feel like it would do more for me than sleeping because I wake up and I already have 50,000 thoughts going through my head, and it's exhausting.
I think we need to go to the hospital. We'll be right back, everybody.
Cut to last episode where he freaking said, let's go to the hospital.
This is a serious, like, it is a mental health thing. Like our mental health is important. We need to make sure that we take these breaks. And even though we were stressed and feeling anxious at the end of the week, I feel so much better.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like, oh, this was good. Obviously, it sucked that the first 4 or 5 days are kind of gone because we didn't get to do like everything we wanted to.
Well, it's kind of crazy because as you're saying that, I'm realizing, so like the first 4 or 5 days that we took off, it's like a detox. Like we're coming out of an addiction or something, right? Like where we're struggling and the amount of breakdowns that I had. And I cried a ton this week just because I felt anxious. And like, I shouldn't be. I'm 25. Why am I feeling that way? I'm so burnt out. And this staycation taught me just how burnt out I actually am. This
was our anniversary week. And just be super transparent. We were super irritable towards each other.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like I was tired, Hallie was tired, and just any little thing, it's like stupidest little things got us mad or sad or whatever it may be. And it's all because we were so exhausted of just all of life in general.
Exhausted of being tired of being stressed.
Yeah.
And we're starting to come out of that now. I don't feel that way anymore. But then I'm thinking about it again. Okay, I have work in 2 days and we have to start everything back up again. And you're going to be traveling and it's going to be miserable.
It's going to suck. But, going into it with a fresh mind is going to be so much better than just, if we hadn't done this, then what? We'd have lost our minds.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't take this break, we would have lost our minds.
We were both I would say it's fair that we were both in a bad headspace before we took our staycation. And I think people are starting to notice.
Did you feel bad, like, in terms of being lazy? Like, being lazy, did you feel bad for doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guilt trip myself all the time. Like, oh, I could be doing this and this and this right now. Why am I sitting down watching TV on the couch? I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
I have such a problem with that. I don't know where that comes from, but I think it's developed over time as we've gotten busier and obviously, graduated college. I think back all the time how much time we had in college. Those were the days.
You would think like, oh, college, like you're studying, you got to go to classes, you don't have that much time. The most amount of free time I've ever had in my entire life was in college.
High school and college.
Not even high school. Like high school, you're stuck in class. Like you're stuck in school.
College is a lot more flexible.
7 or 8 to 2. And then we had track and cross country or whatever.
That's true.
So that we didn't get home till like 5 or 6. And so like that high school was busy. And then when we got to college, it was just like a whole new world.
Yeah.
Like I'd have one class sometimes on like a Thursday, I'd have one class. On a Friday, I'd have one class. And then like Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were my heavy days.
Yeah.
And it was like the best feeling to get done with a class on Friday at like 8 a.m.
As you're saying this, I'm realizing just how much freedom we had.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we have freedom now?
That's a great question. You know what? We don't see, look, when it comes to freedom, we have the freedom to do whatever we want right now. Yes. We could take another vacation if we wanted to. We could do all these things. Would that be the right choice financially and also like work-wise? No, probably bad choice. But we do have the freedom to do whatever we want. Now, I do feel like I am way more controlled by external forces because like I have to go to work. Like I have to do this. Like I have to do these certain things because that is what I depend on financially. That's a struggle that a lot of people have because it's like eventually I want to be financially free. Like financial freedom will change your life, right? And so like right now I'm not financially free. I depend on my salary, I depend on all these things, and so I don't feel free in that way. But like decisions and choice wise, I feel very free.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we have a lot of, or I don't feel like I have a ton of freedom. I do and I don't. But knowing, and I said 8 to 5 earlier, really for me it's 7 to 5. Those are the hours that I'm available during the day for work. And I don't feel like I have freedom. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe that's where my stress is coming from. Hi, Sylvie. You just jumped into his lap. Oh, you're so cute.
Sylvie wanted to say hi during the podcast because she's so happy that we took a staycation.
She knows that we've been stressed. Hi, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Can you guys see her? Is her head coming up from the table? She's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh, I'd do anything for this kitty. Huh, baby? Sylvie merch 2024, 2025. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't feel like I have a lot of freedom. And I think the feeling of feeling trapped in a routine is what stresses me out. Does that make sense?
So what about this week? Like you weren't trapped by any routine?
I wasn't.
So what does that feel like?
Amazing. I felt
even
free.
though you felt anxious at the beginning?
Yeah, because I was getting out of my habits that I normally have every day of like I'm getting out of my normal routine by getting up and starting my meetings right at 7 a.m., right? From my desk in my home alone when it's usually still kind of dark outside. Like,
and
hi, Sylvie.
I think I saw this statistic or something where it takes like somebody did like a analysis on how long it takes to recover from burnout. Guess how many weeks or months it takes?
Weeks? Months? I don't know. How much longer is it going to take for me?
I think statistically it takes about 6 months to a year to fully recover from burnout.
No, it does not.
That's what it says. I will try and find the source, but that's what they say. It takes about six months to a year.
That's crazy.
To fully recover from burnout. Like you could probably recover in 2 or 3 days, but to fully recover and not be stressed whatsoever, I think it takes a long time.
See, I don't think people take burnout seriously enough.
Yeah.
Or mental health seriously enough because, there are a lot of people who don't. Sorry. Oh my God. Her hair's got stuck in my nose. There are a lot of people who don't struggle with burnout or anxiety or feeling depressed. And, that's great.
I think the older generation definitely just dealt with it. Like they were just like,
it was there, but they didn't talk about it.
They were like, I'm stressed out, but guess what? I'm going to work. Time to go to work. And I think now this generation's like fighting back a lot of those things. Like, why would I go to work if I feel stressed out right now? Like, why would I do these things if I'm not happy right now? And I think people are realizing like you only have so many days in your life, right? So many weeks to go.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what people are thinking about now is like, oh, like, it's not really worth living like this.
Yeah, it's not. And it's not worth being with somebody that you're unhappy with. It's not worth working a job that you're unhappy doing. I don't see the value in pushing yourself to do something that you hate and making your life miserable if you have the choice, you have the power to not do that thing. Yeah. I mean, literally, who cares? I think it's a lot about, I don't want to say it's a lot, but like some of it is about how people perceive you, right? Like some people may never have the courage, which is really sad, to leave, you know, whether it be a bad relationship or again, like a job. Like they're just like, oh, I can just do it forever and I'll stay here, but I hate it. Why are you there? You have the power to walk away, to do whatever
it's tough.
You want. It is.
It's not easy.
I know. And I'm not saying it is because...
And financially, some people are thinking about that way.
Right.
And it's hard. But...
There could be other options is what I'm saying.
There are ways to get out of that situation.
Yeah, right. And so I think that's what... It definitely is a generational thing. And I don't know what range of age we have people watching this podcast. I think we kind of have people all over. So... maybe jump in here and we can talk about it in the comments. But
I really want to have a discussion about this. So if you guys want to reach out through email or just comment in the comment below, we will 100% reply back because we really want to just know how everybody else is feeling about it because we feel very alone on this subject.
I will say it's very rare that you meet somebody of the boomer generation who is very up and at 'em and really understanding with topics of mental health. That's just what I've seen. I know quite a few people in all different kinds of age ranges, and I will say people that are millennial/Gen Z definitely have a better grasp on mental health and understanding that people go through situations and not everybody's life is just easy and you can just push on through. People really need some help, and I don't think it's fair to disregard that from people.
It's just tough when you are told your whole life this is what you need to do to be happy. Make money, be happy.
The American dream, baby. Not everybody wants that.
Just like I think people are starting to wake up a little bit.
Yeah. And it's a good thing. Yeah. I think if you're not happy doing something, then why are you doing it? You only get, and I can't remember if I think this was a TikTok I saw recently. But it was an example of somebody saying that, oh, I'm going to work this job I hate till I'm 65 and I can retire. And I'm just doing it for the money. Well, how do you know you're going to live to 65? You don't know that. Every day that we wake up is a blessing. So I don't know how somebody can just go their entire life with their decisions that they've made and being unhappy about it. Why don't you do something about it? We only get so long on this earth and then you're dead. And that sounds really depressing. Yeah. But you don't know that you're going to live till 65, right? Might as well do something that you're happy doing and enjoy your life. Your days are numbered.
Yeah, I think overall the staycation is fantastic. We struggled at the beginning and we wanted to share with you guys how we feel now, which is we feel so glad that we were able to take some time off and get some things done that we needed to do, even though we didn't get all of it done. It just felt so good to just take a break, breathe, just take a breath. And my brain feels so clear. It feels so just good.
It feels better. And I think if anything that we want you to take away from this episode this week is that your happiness matters the most. That's the biggest thing that I really took away is that in life, I just want to be happy and I want to figure out a way that I can always be happy and not put myself in a constant state of stress and anxiety because it's not worth it. And you are the boss of your own life. You make your decisions. You need to do things and make decisions for yourself that are going to make your life better and easier in any way possible. And that's what I learned a lot from this staycation. So I hope that you can take a staycation or a vacation if you want to go somewhere great. But I honestly would say that it's nice to get a good reset at home.
And it's cheap.
Yeah.
Free.
It's free. Time
for your question of the week.
I'm sorry, everyone. With headphone users, I'm so sorry.
Guys, this question is from Roshan Patel. So we talk about finances a lot on this episode, on this show, and I think this question has a lot to do with finances.
All right.
You might have to take more staycations than vacations to be able to do this specific task. Okay?
Oh.
Hey, I'm a college student and I'm inspired by your story. How were you guys able to afford a house at such a young age? Fantastic question. A lot of crying, a lot of effort,
Love sacrifice.
a lot of saying no to things that we wanted to say yes to.
Yeah. A lot of working in college to be able to save up money. I mean, working 2-3 jobs at a time.
Yeah, it's a lot. As a college student, I didn't take college as seriously as most college students would. I took the work more seriously. Like I used to get any job ever. So I worked as a student tech. I worked in some quality assurance stuff. I worked in the media. I worked as a videographer as well. So like I had 3 jobs at one point at the same time. And then from that money, like I would save all of it because I was living at home. So it was another huge help is I lived at home. I had food from my parents. So my out of pocket cost is eating out and my car payment, which I had a car. But that was one big purchase that I made in college. That was stupid. I was making good money doing videography and doing the jobs that I had. So I was like, you know what? I got some money in the bank account. Let me go buy a brand new car, like a Dumbo. Don't do that if you want to buy a house. I did that and really regret it at the end because that was my only monthly cost that I had. If I didn't have that cost, oh my gosh, like it would have been, could have been easy to buy a home. But we also got lucky during that time. It was COVID. Interest rates were at 2.8% when we were, or 2.6% when we started looking, and we got in at like 2.8%, which was fantastic. Like
We're lucky.
It's easy to afford a house when interest rates are that low.
Yeah.
Like today, it's hard. It's difficult. 6% is not easy to buy a home. My advice is, as a first-time home buyer, there's so many programs out there. You can put down 5%. You can put down 3.5%. Like there's things you can do to like put down less money on a house and purchase. But just some word advice. It's not bad to rent. I think some people like always say like, oh, renting is bad. But renting gives you freedom.
Mm-hmm. You're not tied down to a place.
You're not tied down. Like something that we experience is like all our friends are moving to like different cities, and like they're like, oh, my year-end lease is ending, so I'm just gonna move to DC. I'm gonna move to Florida. I'm gonna move to Texas, and all our friends are like moving different places. It's because they were able to rent, right? And so like they can move wherever they want if they want to. It's expensive.
Awesome.
It's expensive to move, but it does give you freedom. And so
it's super cool.
That's my only like word of advice, to keep it in your head. Like, hey, it's if you buy a house, like you're tied down for at least 5 years to get a profit out of the house, minimum. But do you have any advice on buying a house?
You summed it up pretty well, I think.
Was it hard for you to buy a house?
Yes.
What did you have to sacrifice?
My happiness, my joy. Because we bought a house so young.
Yeah.
Like we built a house super young. Like it's actually kind of crazy. Because I think back on it now, and when we signed for this house, I was 21 years old.
And I was 23.
That's insane.
But my like freshman year of college, I was like, my goal every day is to be able to afford a house after I graduate college. Even after I graduated, I couldn't do it. So I stayed home for a year with my parents. And then we were able to afford that down payment. And also, like, it's not just the down payment, it's the closing costs. Furniture. Do you know how expensive furniture is?
Do you know how hard it is to fill a house?
Oh
it's expensive. And to make it look good, too. Oh, my gosh. It's hard.
And so I thought about all that before we even bought a house. I do not want to be house poor. Do not be house poor. That is when all your money is going towards your mortgage. Don't do that. It's not fun. That's where you get trapped. You feel trapped because you have this payment that you got to get to, and you don't make enough money to pay it, and that's not good. That'll make you feel trapped, and it'll make you house poor, which is not good. That's why I always say renting right now with the interest rates being really high, it's good. Eventually, you should definitely purchase a home, but it's So like right now, I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, I think just realizing the amount of sacrifice that it can take to get what you really want in life, which nothing good ever comes easy. Remember that, because I remember going through this process, and like you said, there were so many things, so many experiences we turned down, so many things we turned down, a lot of people saying we were crazy for doing this, but honestly, it worked out really well. I love this house, and I think it just takes work, like anything. Saving money is hard, and realize that there are ways that you can always cut back. It's not going to be like this forever. Saving up money is only temporary. I mean, you're not going to realistically be living super within your means forever. Like there will be times where you can live lavishly and do whatever you want. But for the time being, if you are wanting to build a house and save up money, then just realize it's going to be a struggle for just a little bit. But if you think about the rest of your life, that's only a small fraction of the rest of your life.
I would say 1 year of sacrifice. You could do it.
1 year goes by so much faster than you think.
1 year of eating rice and beans.
Well, we didn't do that.
I ate
rice makes me really bloated. So.
I ate darbatsak.
Darbatsak.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds good.
Thank you guys for watching, everyone. We are so happy that you're able to listen to us be vulnerable. That was nice.
I appreciate it.
Let all the things in our mind out. Just a reminder, October 14th, mark your calendars. We are going to be releasing merch.
We didn't say it on time. Can we do it? 1, 2, 3. Merch. Thank you.
Make sure you go to www.halfpastshot.com to submit your own questions and stories. Thank you, Roshan, for submitting yours. And I just want to say, we will see you next Monday at Half Past Shot.
Thank you, everybody.
Dinger, dinger, dinger.
Darbatsak. Okay. You get up every time, and I am tired. I don't want to get up. I feel so cozy. I got my blanket. New York. Bacon, egg, and cheese.